like I say, at first, my air travel company was just basically a bottomless pit for which I threw money into and time and effort. It was just like, you know, air travel. It was kind of, but it really wasn't all that much money. The bread and butter of the travel, whatever, was basically my ships and stuff like that. But they were really expensive. And I was trying to get air travel, and I knew eventually it would come around. And like I say, I finally my air travel company finally started to get profitable. You know, it was a slow. It wasn't all that great, and then slowly but for surely we got the safety standards up and got them up, and I started to actually make money and stuff, and started actually, they started to actually, come up in profitability and all that other stuff. But, at first, it sucked, and no one thought that air travel would ever come around. That, like most people thought that air travel was one of those dreams or something like that that would never happen, that would never become whatever. I knew it would eventually turn around. It was just going to take a long time. Like I say, we were doing piston aircraft and stuff like that, but slowly but surely, and like I said, I don't know. I think I might have had the theory that just get a little bit higher because the air is thinner up high, but then that had its own problems, blah blah, because then you're doing props, and like I said, and then I came up with the jet or compressor engine and stuff like that, or I had come up with it. I had come up with it earlier, and then I was thinking about it later on. So, and I was like, all right, well, let's work on this, like I say. So I I directed people to start working on my compressor jet engine type. At first, it was just piston air engines and all that kind of stuff. And like I say, you know, when you're just barely getting technology and stuff like that, it's better to just go with what works rather than some lofty dream idea of basically jets and all that other stuff. So I was having it done, but we were having a lot of problems. I knew that I'd have a lot of problems. Like I was telling my people, I was like, well, the problem is that you're gonna there's no way to cool it, and they're gonna have to run it at like 15 at like 5,000 degrees or something like that. They're gonna be really really hot because there's nowhere for the heat to go. So my people were working on the heat problem. I was like, well, first we have to solve the heat problem. We have to have a metal that can actually withstand 2 or 3,000 or 5,000 degrees. If we don't have that, then the jet's just a dream. We need to get some really good metal, and then we can do the jet engine because there's no way to cool it. So, other than by the air, I was like, well, there might be some cooling, whatever, just in the design but not really. So anyway, so I had my people working on a few ideas and stuff like that, and then so we were mostly doing propellers at first. Doing what works and kind of working on the jet engine and the back things. A lot of people would be like, top secret, national security, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, it wasn't. It's just that nobody knew what I was working on. Nobody knew what I was having done. So, but then I'm the creator, I'm the Lord. So anyway, so I had my people, so I knew about everything going on. So anyway, so later on, the profitability of the jet engines and jets started to get up there a little bit. And like I said, a lot of people sold stock in the shipping companies going for basically propellers or whatever. I don't really know. Like what the people do and what I was doing would oftentimes do different things. Like I would say, there's me and then there's the people. Like I'd often tell people, I'd like, well, the thing is that there's me and then there's everyone else, and what I'm doing and blah blah blah. And like I said, mostly I think I was just messing around. So whatever. Anyway, but so like I say, finally I was like, that's why I say Richard Nixon and John McCain and Jimmy Carter and a bunch of other people were trying to basically be like, just trying to do this thing to the public, and it's like, no. And like I said, that's mostly what World War I, World War II, and all the other things were about. Was basically, they were trying to do this like little like behind the scenes, behind my back kind of thing. And it's like, well, that's not really going to work out. And it didn't work out. So, planning, I don't know, planning to kill me or whatever. I don't really know. Like I said, go ask JFK, go ask John McCain, go ask the Congress, and go ask the stupid Secret Service. Like I said, Nixon and JFK and Jimmy Carter and all these other people would spend lifetimes or generations or hundreds of years trying to figure out everything that I was and how the whole system worked and everything. Anyway, like I said, Rodney and Rick Bush, blah, 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 blah. It's like, probably not going to work. 9 of the oldest races in the universe and about 12 or more. So, anyway. And then, like I said, legendary status of Lucifer Star line. Me. So, anyway. So like I said, you know, the Congress and even the president, even Trump, he can go on the public addresses all he wants. And it's like, well, there's what some idiot says inside of a house on TV, and then there's what's actually happening in the world, and actually who's doing everything. And that was me. So basically, and it's my house. That's why the public addresses were supposed to matter. That's why the White House is supposed to matter. Because it's supposed to be me in the house, but it's not. So whatever. My people just had to find me and deal with that. And they did. I'm always found. So I was found and tracked down. Oh my Lord. So like I say, well, I'm always found. My 1.5, everyone always finds me. So it's like, no sense in hiding. Anyway. So. And plus in time and space, I was the one doing it all. So, you know. It's just that later on, all these other people grab these films. And like I said, my British people and my German people and all my people that actually did it and actually were there and blah, blah, blah. They're like, well, blah, blah, blah. He's Brian. We have verification of this, whatever. I think my 1.5s told the human race who I was. Or the exoskeletons. Like I said, there's that picture of the astronaut and my little 1.5 with the little straw hat and the little, what's it called? The little Hawaiian shirt. That's a real picture. Like I said, Nixon and JFK and a lot of people wanted to torture those little guys to try and get information. And it's like, whatever. Stupid. So, anyway. And I think the 1.5's dealt with it. Anyway, so like I say, I make all these videos, tell everyone how things really were. So you can straighten it all out. It's like, the Queens work for me, you see. And I was the one having them protected and kept safe and keeping whatever from them. I said a couple of people wanted to rape the queens, wanted to rape the princess and queen or whatever, and I was like, oh, no they're not. You know, nobody touches her unless she wants, blah, blah. So anyway. What happened was I directed my soldiers to go protect her. I said, go find my queens, protect them. And that's what they did. They found the queens and protected them. Anyway, I cared about them. So, they were just working for me, they were basically employees. So, you know. Anyway, they're my people, like, leading people. But like I said, I had other ways of leading people too. So, anyway, like I said, whatever. You know, you guys can figure out the craziness. And like I said, a lot of people were also doing things to shelter and protect me as well. So, while I was still a child and fragile. So, anyway, like I said, you have hundreds of trillions, billions of years to realize everything. And eventually probably you get time travel and be able to go back and look for yourselves. Or just deduce it. Like I said, whatever.